record on this computer. And then we tell this to go live. And then we have this long intro like we always have, because we never know when we go live. Here is the live button. We're going to go live. So if you caught that, that's really some of the best I've got there.
That's really good, man.
If you didn't, hopefully, you've had a decent Wednesday. This is a tough one, but welcome to Wednesday again, everybody. It's the Evan and Aaron show. I'm Aaron. This is Evan. Aaron's got his Lucky Buckeyes jersey on. Probably got to get into a little bit of that at some point.
Finally playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a lot to talk about tonight. So let's just jump in. Honestly, I'm not sure where to start, because until today I would have said let's immediately talk about the Notorious RBG and her passing and her legacy and what that means. But I feel like, this news coming out of Louisville is going to trump a little bit of that. Oh God, horrible term.
Wow, that's all right though.
We're going to talk about both, but let's stick a little bit with the script and say, we lost a giant. We lost an absolute giant of American legal history, period. Not just a Supreme Court justice. What this woman accomplished, what she means, is just immense. She deserves her own chapter in high school history books. It's just there have been a lot of hot takes. There's been a lot of back and forth, and obviously they'd barely pronounced her dead before Yertle the Turtle got up and said we're gonna replace her, going against what we said before. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. It would be absolutely foolish for any party that held both the White House and a majority in Congress to not place a Supreme Court justice. This is politics. And if you say your intent is to create a society based on your ideals and ideology, then you have an opportunity and do it.
I was sorely mistaken about that, Aaron. I am by trade now, I am a historian, and I looked at this. The average length of time it takes in American history for a president to nominate and to have a Supreme Court justice seated is 67 days. This right here is, I mean, there's no way to put it, right? I mean, you're absolutely right. Let's look at it pragmatically. The fact is that this is politics, and RBG is in my opinion, the one justice that I think everybody looked to. I would even say Roberts did too at some point. To a point. And the fact that, this woman was fearless whenever it came to the American people. I mean, she was the one to stand up and to say whenever, they were in the minority as far as the vote goes, she's the one that delivered the dissent. That she was the one that stood up and was able to, and in my opinion, Chief Justice Roberts, I think that she got in his ear about this LGBTQ decision that they made during the summer. And I think that she did so much behind the scenes that we are so unaware of. You're right, she's a titan. And the fact that she was, and I'm convinced, and I think everybody is at this point, the fact that she was trying to hold on, that this country was so important to her, that this democracy was so important to her, the fact that she was trying to hold on, man, kudos to her. She's a beast in my book and will always be. She's always going to be mentioned in my History 102 class.
let me throw a little gas on the fire, if you will.
What? You never do that. Come on
Yeah, I
now.
know. But I read a hot take.
Hey, real quick, Taylor's watching. Hey, Taylor.
What up? Is she? I'm not getting any updates right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I got the live feed. I don't know who the other three are, but hey, the other three, make yourself known. Hi.
That's
Anyway, go ahead,
crazy.
brother.
I wonder why
Throw
I'm
some
not.
gas on there.
So, I guess I would say that it's a bit of a parody, or satire, I guess, rather, site on Facebook. But their comment was basically, she screwed us, that she's had health problems for many years, and she could have retired under Obama, knowing that she would have been replaced by a sufficiently liberal, progressive voice on the Supreme Court. Look, and again, I think that's a bit of a hot take. There is a skosh of truth in there, but let's face it, these SCOTUS types tend to turn into dust in their chair. They don't retire unless they're truly forced to, because their health deteriorates to a point where they can't function. So I disagree with that, but Obama put Kagan and Sotomayor on. Is that correct? Those are his two. I think recognizing that there's some merit that, RBG could have said, hey, this is the right time. I'm passing it off to this next generation of other women of color and varied history. And, I'll talk with Barack and other people as to who I think would be a really, really great replacement, and who you could get. The problem is, could he have gotten them confirmed at that point? I don't know. Again, speculation. I'm just kind of tossing out a thing I saw.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I'll in no way disparage the woman's legacy. She was
Sure.
fantastic,
Sure.
and she's handed down some of the greatest rulings. So,
It's
yeah.
easy, and you're right. I mean, it's easy to go back and be like, oh man, I wish. But Taylor, you beat me to the punch. Dang it. She's right. I mean, the reality is that the majority of
Mhm.
Democrats even then didn't believe that Donald Trump would win. That's what I was going to say. I was like, you know what? When you're in the driver's seat like they were, or it appeared like they were, we didn't see what was going to happen. And so, it was probably assumed, that Hillary would not only choose RBG's successor, but would also fill the seat that Gorsuch and the seat that, the
Fair, fair.
war, what's his name? Kavanaugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh filled. Um, you're right, Taylor. Absolutely. I mean, that was the sentiment. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the fact is that I saw on the on TV today that the Republicans now who are backpedaling are using the excuse of that Obama was a lame duck in his second term, which okay, I get that. Truth, yes. But you just got through saying Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, um, every pretty much every single Republican senator there was. Well, the American people need to be able to decide, which means they need to be able to decide the president, and then the president who's coming in next needs to do that no matter what. And it's like, wait,
Well,
does that sound right to you? I
but,
mean, you're right. It's politics. It is politics.
Mhm.
And, Democrats are notorious for screaming like, that's not fair. But then, Republicans don't give a shit because they just do the unfair shit.
Well, that's what
But
I want to get at, is
yeah,
that Democrats, Democratic politicians, Democratic talking heads on TV, and Democrats in my Facebook and Twitter feed need to quit being shocked, I say, when Republican politicians behave exactly the way we describe Republican politicians. They don't care about the rules. They care about what is politically expedient to them at that exact moment, and they will say and do whatever it is. And in their mind, that's politics. They invented rat fucking in the 60s, right? Which is absolutely pushing, all these, basically the concept was throw as much shit as the wall as possible, and you'll eventually have some sort of wallpaper. Some stuff will stick, and this is what they do. People can't run around being like, oh my God, Republicans they're heartless and they hate children and all they care about is power, and then be like, oh my God, I can't believe they went back on their word about this opportunity. Fuckers, they've got a chance to put one more Supreme Court justice on it,
Yeah. In our chat, Ayudele, I hope I pronounced that right.
Io, and he's a Chelsea fan, brother.
Io? Oh,
yeah.
Go
Io.
Blue.
Yeah.
There you go. It's not politics. It's way more insidious. I absolutely 100% unequivocally agree with you. The insidious nature of what's going on is very true. However, this is American politics, and it's been insidious since. I mean, once again, we can go all the way back to black codes and right after the Civil War, how politics played.
Go back further than that. Watch Hamilton.
I get it.
Watch Hamilton again.
Exactly. No, I get it. I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm just saying. I totally agree with that. It's just that Aaron is absolutely right. The time to be shocked about what is coming out of the White House and what's coming out of the Senate is over. We cannot be shocked about this stuff anymore. We just simply have to start playing hard ball. With this Senate thing or with the Supreme Court thing, it's a done deal. It's a done deal unless something can happen.
Well,
which
and this is
I don't know.
Nancy Pelosi may be actually a jaguar in disguise, masquerading as a woman in her late 60s.
Surprised you didn't say cougar.
And well, that was an easy one, but she's not.
But whoa! She's a strong woman, man. Come on now.
I think we're confusing our terms now. But what I mean by that is she's been pretty quiet. She hasn't said a whole lot. She's let Chuck Schumer be the guy to just kind of throw the slop out there. And I think she's maybe wondering, hey, if we impeach him again, the Senate can't confirm a Supreme Court justice while there's an impeachment going on because they'll be busy. And there's multiple things they can do. There's a lot of procedural bullshit built into the system. So we're less than 50 days now, like 45 days to the election. So that 67 number, looms large.
It does. I mean, because if you want to, and Roger actually says they're saying that historically the party controlling the legislature doesn't confirm a Supreme Court justice in an election year if the incumbent is not from their party. If the incumbent is from their party, historically, they will confirm a Supreme Court justice. Yeah, you're right, Roger.
But again,
I get it.
This situation the specifics of this situation that we're talking about right now have only occurred a handful of times in history. Supreme Court justices are lifetime appointments. They were there for a long time. And, this perfect storm of, there being an opening on the court, incumbent president, majority in the House, not majority, or majority in Congress, not majority in Congress. All of these moons have to align. And, at this point, the Democrats need to do that. They need to get the smartest, Harvard law grad that they've got on interning in their staff and be like, dude, go to the archives and find the most obscure bullshit you can that we can start throwing out here so we can run the clock a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to get apparently some crazy Cuban American woman put forth. I don't know.
What about the
about
woman
her,
from
so
Notre
that's unfair.
Dame? What about the Notre Dame alum? I thought she was like the front runner.
I don't know. I'm honestly, this has honestly been low importance to me. The RBG passed away, and that was what I focused
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
This one we may lose. And here's the thing: the SCOTUS swings back and forth. It always has. It probably always will. I don't know about this notion of, well, if the Democrats gain control, let's just add 2 more. I don't know. Why don't we?
yeah. I'm not feeling
If we
that.
can set the number, then let's take it to 3. I mean,
Yeah,
I, I
right.
I don't know what to say on that. That's where um, Taylor. Let's see. Just my thoughts. Any
Oh
modern
wow.
political has lost the ability to claim the moral high ground regardless of party alignment. To a certain extent, Democrats have been playing chess when the Republicans have been playing checkers. Yeah, some big political misses that I thought were pretty obvious, even their selection of candidates for president and VP. Yes, yes.
See, I would almost switch that though, Taylor, because it seems like Republicans have been playing chess. I'm not saying that they're smarter. I'm just saying that it reminds me of the line from Public Enemy's, Fight the Power, where Chuck D says, "Look, hey, how do you expect us to play the game when we don't even know the game?" It just seems like the Democrats, you
Yeah,
know,
but
with the
Republicans haven't.
exception.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, no,
Well,
no.
I was just going to say, with the exception of like Nancy, like you said, like Nancy Pelosi, just hanging back, just doing her thing, kind of, looking. I, it's been one thing after another, and you see the Republicans lining up, just doing their thing, just sticking to everything and controlling it. And it's like, you know what, I believe that even before anybody knew about Donald Trump, I believe that Mitch McConnell was planning this from the very beginning. I believe that he was like, you know what? One day we're going to get some moron in the White House because someone's going to tap that nerve in
Mhm.
America, and they're going to be a Republican, and we're going to be able to control him. And that's why I said it from the beginning. I don't think Donald Trump's the most dangerous person in the United States.
No,
At that time, I think it was Mitch McConnell.
no. Donald Trump is a useful idiot to Mitch
Yes.
McConnell, Vladimir Putin, and probably a variety of other people working in the background that we aren't aware of. Roger, the Dems have proved they're not willing to put in that kind of effort, frankly. And well, is it effort or is it
Mm,
really willingness
mm.
to play a bit of politics? Look, you decided to go into politics. You decided you want to be a professional politician. You wasted 4 years getting a law degree to never use so you could go into politics. Well done. So now you know all this stuff. Why do you sit around and act all aghast when the opposition lies to your face? Like, at this point, I don't know how many of these people are actually friends. I know people used to be. I apparently Lindsey Graham, Joe Biden, and John McCain were pals. Like, by
Yeah.
all accounts, let's go have lunch, fellas. Let's go crack a few beers, what have you. I really can't honestly see Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell having any
No.
respect for one another, much less
No.
caring to sit down. So at some point, when somebody shows you who they are, how many times do you have to have somebody lie directly to your face and keep going back for more and then wondering why you never get any satisfaction, why you never get anything to go your way?
Yeah. Well, Roger said it. Roger said it. He said the Republicans will toe the party line no matter what. I mean, you see that in Indiana. You see that here. I mean, it's like, you know what? You have, and I get Indiana is probably about as red could be. But there are pockets,
Mhm.
right? There are pockets. We freaking had a presidential candidate come from South Bend
Mhm.
here in Indiana. And the fact is that we have our Republicans who are representatives, our Republican senators, basically not give a damn.
Yeah.
They don't
Uh,
care. They
Indiana as
toe
a
the
state
party
went
line.
Obama in '08, I think. So it's not unheard of. Um, I think that tells you how frustrated people get. If that's the case, I'm really hoping, all these anecdotal comments from people, oh, I was a Donald Trump supporter and I really thought he was going to do things. And now it's obviously bullshit. I hope there are millions of those people. There should be
Yeah, I
millions of
know.
those people. I don't
know.
fully understand how anybody who isn't an overt racist or stands to have financial gain continue to follow this. I mean, the man makes ugly, vulgar, racist statements on a regular basis now. I mean, the whole racehorse theory, the comments he made in Minnesota.
Whoa! Pump brakes. Okay, you just said something I did not know, my friend. I'm
At a
sorry. You're
rally
gonna have
the
to.
other night in Minnesota, he complimented them on their good genes and that they were in danger of being overrun by, I think he said Syrians, but if he actually understood geography, he would have said Somalis because they actually have a fairly large Somali population up there. Ilhan Omar, I believe, is from Minnesota. Is that right? I mean,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dude can't even insult correctly because he couldn't
Oh
point
my God.
to Somalia or Syria on a map. But yes, he said the people of Minnesota have good genes. And I believe he actually said the phrase racehorse theory. I think he said, hey, have you ever heard this? Yeah, Roger. No, it's not the first time he's said something like
Yeah.
that at a rally.
No, you're right.
I get it. The man's an overt racist, so let's stop being surprised when he says racist shit. That's what
Yeah,
I'm getting at
exactly.
is, I know people are like, well, don't normalize it. Well, no, he normalized it. We don't have a choice in the matter. He's the president of the United
Right.
States, and he says this shit into a microphone, and people at a crowd applaud it. What we need to do is say, this is the most disgusting person we've ever elected as a president outside of maybe Andrew Jackson. And a few more. Taylor's going to correct me right here in a second. But the guy's up there, and we need to just stop the complaining. Stop going, oh, my God, Mitch McConnell's evil. Yes, he's fucking evil. He's everything Newt Gingrich wish he would have grown into if he hadn't turned into a toad. But
right.
now, look, at this point, there is one thing left to do. Put on a bunch of masks, pack a sack lunch and maybe dinner, get your lawn chair out, and go get your ass in line and vote.
November 3rd.
No, not November 3rd. Find out when you can go vote early. Put on your mask and go to your county clerk. I believe it begins October 4th or something like that. You've got a few weeks. But go on a Tuesday, take your lunch break at 2:30 in the afternoon and go to your county building. Take your mask. If you're registered to vote, you can go to, I believe, any county building around. There's a lot of community centers, a bunch of stuff. Get on in.gov or election.gov, some shit. I can't do all the information for you, folks. But get on in.gov. Just go vote. As Obama said, don't boo, vote. Don't boo, bitch, vote. Take this back. The Republicans are legit worried about losing the White House and the Senate right now. They think this is in play. So bitching and moaning is just not going to do any good. That's my rant.
No. And you are absolutely right, my friend. I mean, the fact is that I am most concerned. Yes, does the Supreme Court leaning more right, does that complicate things? Yes, absolutely. Will they take on Roe v. Wade? I think that would cause such an incredible uproar, and it would break precedent. Because here's the thing: if you remember, Supreme Court is all about precedent.
Mm-hmm.
They're all about precedent, and so you just this summer, Chief Justice Roberts, you just this summer helped uphold an LGBTQ ruling. So I'm like, I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on that. Here's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the Senate and the House. If we take our eyes off of the Senate, it would be a big, huge misstep. Because even if, which I hate to even think about, even if Trump wins again, but we take the Senate and we hold on to the House, his ass is grassed. I mean, it is. It's as simple as that. And you know what? If they want to push this Supreme Court justice through, once again, playing hardball, I would then, as a Democratic Senate and a Democratic House, impeach and remove his ass.
That's where I'm going to disagree, because then Mike Pence becomes president. We run the risk of him getting elected.
No. there is so much. Aaron, here's the thing. I think that in the Mueller report, I think there are things that they're there that have Pence.
We can't
I think,
retry that though.
obviously,
We can't
well,
retry
no, no,
the Mueller case.
not really, because we had the Senate standing in our way. I don't think we were able to see the full. And plus, I think there's so much that's out there. We're just starting to see it. We're starting to see, the Woodward tapes. We're starting to hear what's going on with Trump, which, okay, yeah, we know about Trump. But I think with Pence, there are things that people know that we haven't revealed yet. That's all I'm saying. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I cannot see him not being in bed with this same stuff.
Okay, but you're gonna.
Trump is.
I mean, I don't know how that would work, but you would have to impeach him at the exact same time.
Yeah, well,
You'd have to put the all in it. Here's what I think would be better. Would be you have the House and the Senate. He'd be reduced to nothing but executive orders at that point, which I believe would have some limitations. I would just starve him out, because once he leaves office, that's when you really go after him.
Yeah.
Somebody posted something today as whether or not they thought it was important if Biden wins the election, we have the House and the Senate. Precedent is that you don't go after the previous administration regardless of their crimes. A lot of people wanted Bush put war crimes and things like that.
Boy, doesn't that just look like like he stole a pack of gum now? I mean, compared to what's going on. I mean, Jesus.
No, I won't trivialize war crimes. I mean, I think I think the difference is we don't feel the impact of that. We don't feel the impact of war crimes that occurred in Iraq and Afghanistan, in the name of the U.S. military. We do feel the impact of the data impact of a president who continues to downplay a virus that has killed now 200,000 people in the United States, millions worldwide. I mean, I'm still just blown away by people. I said this the other day. I think anybody who votes for Trump has to agree to let him fly them across country on Air Force One. He has to pilot the plane, or I'll give him a choice, or the next surgery they or anyone in their immediate family has, he has to perform the operation. I'm cool. You get to vote for him, but he's now your Lord and Savior, and you have to, allow it. It's just, I think now's a good time to declare halftime.
Oh man,
switch gears a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you got tonight, man? Who's this shot go to?
Oh, I'm gonna give it to Taylor and Roger and TJ and the rest of the people who've gotten on. We haven't had as much. I know people are busy, so no criticism. I'm so happy that everybody's in and chatting, and it makes for a great discussion. So tonight goes out to everybody tuned in, to our listeners, anybody who watches this tomorrow, the next day, whenever. We love you. And for the record, I didn't get kicked out of my house and have to move into my parents' basement. I'm in literally the exact same location. I've just had to rotate things because I have this brand new awesome workstation set up with multiple big screen monitors and stuff. So I'm coming to you in high def, and I was
worried about you, brother.
I'm looking around because I can see all these screens.
I fixed up the bedroom for you.
No,
I got
my parents said I could, but still, that's just upstairs.
Taylor's. You know what? I'm gonna throw this one out to Taylor.
Yeah.
She's got to get back to work.
Thanks for tuning in, Tay.
Yeah.
Hey, watch the rest of this later because we're about to discuss what's going on down in Louisville and some of the legal issues there. And I think we're going to have a good convo around that. I'm sure Roger's going to have some things to say. Aya will have some things to say. Sorry, I didn't mention you earlier, but everybody that's on here, I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll through. I said TJ. I think I've gotten everybody. So thanks for everybody tuning in. Cool. And here's a shot. Sláinte.
Sláinte. Brought to you by, can I say the name?
You can. I don't care. They ain't giving us any money. Brought to you by Fireball.
Hey, there you go.
That goes out to Billy Bradley.
You know, okay.
I know. I'm a garbage human. I don't know what to tell you. I drink Long Island.
What?
I drink Long Island iced teas. Shout out to Mikey.
Dude. Hey, you know what? Every once in a while, I like a good pina colada. I just do. I mean,
Well,
every once in a while I do. I do.
and
Sorry.
walking in the rain.
You know what? If I meet you at a hotel one day because you answered a want ad, I wouldn't be too sad,
You know, my
honestly.
favorite part of that is that a husband and wife are essentially setting out to cheat on each other. Find out it's their spouse,
Yes.
and then just go. Oh, I didn't know
He's
you
like,
love champagne and walking in the rain. That's so great.
that is the
Not you
epitome
cheating,
of what
motherfucker.
that's the epitome of white privilege, my friend, right
That,
there. You know it's a white couple.
that's
Because I'm telling you, if it was black people, that
that
that shit
that's
don't go
yeah,
down. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
That would have been some gunshots at the end of that one. Not you, motherfucker.
I'd love to see my mom and dad. Oh man, mom would. Oh, she'd be like,
That song.
"Boys, your dad had to
Yeah.
die.
Sorry.
Sorry."
That song is up there with like Hey Ya and the Copacabana as like
Oh,
songs that sound like, whoa, that's great. And then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, fuck is going on here? This is like a bad early episode of Miami Vice. This shit. For those who don't know, just
wow.
Google the lyrics to Copacabana. It's not the happy-go-lucky song you remember, folks. It is not.
Roger's joining along, getting gone in the rain. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh man. All right. So I still have.
Do it.
Can I just say something before we go to Louisville?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a big proponent in watching our president whenever he talks. Turning on Fox News, I want to be informed about what's going on the other side. And I'm one of those people that is open to. I know. I am open to listening to other opinions. I actually heard this man stand behind a podium and say, in response to, would he abdicate the powers of the presidency peacefully? He said, well, we'll have to see. Strike one.
Right.
Number two, well, we'll have to see what happens with the ballots. So there's, strike two. But then number three, he says, matter of fact, let's just get rid of the ballots. He actually said, just get rid of the ballots.
Yeah.
I can't, Aaron. And here's the thing. I invite anyone to please explain this to me. I don't want to believe that our president just stood at a podium. And you're right. I can't be shocked or surprised about this anymore. But I just can't believe he stood at a podium and literally took the first step to a dictatorship.
This is how it begins. Somebody somewhere said, man, Adolf sounds angry today. I can't believe he said that maybe we should start rounding some people up. And then they did, I'm sure tons of people were like, man, it's really seems to be getting hot in Cambodia here. I'm just saying, this Pol Pot guy. Look, the dude is a wannabe dictator. We've been making this joke since before he got elected. Right before one of the first jokes that Trevor Noah made when he was taking over as the host of the Daily Show.
Yep.
Was how much Trump envied shitty African dictators, and they put him in the dumb hat and the epaulets like Idi Amin and all this stuff.
Yep.
That the guy is so egotistically inferior that those are the type of people he looks up to. We know he reads Mein Kampf. I'm sure he has read all sorts of stuff from the people that are just all about power. The man is just about power. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to him in his mind. And it is. I mean, look, he's president of the United States, quote unquote, leader of the free world. And he wants to end the free world is basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
Again, the guy, we've been saying it for years. It is who he is. Vote the guy out. The Republicans are not going to help us. We've got to take the Senate. We've got to take the House. There's almost no other discussion to be had anymore. The guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And the people who just blindly follow him, I simultaneously am aghast, but feel sorry for them, because I call some friends, and I don't. That's an inner conflict. So I don't know. Louisville.
Yes, let's do that. Let's go. Geez.
So yeah, today, if you haven't heard, yeah, Io said Trump is an African dictator. I would know. I lived under two of them. Can't imagine, brother. And
Io.
he just, yeah. I mean, the guy, if he could, yeah, I honestly believe if he could take, journalists out and shoot him, he would. He certainly wishes to lock him up. I know that.
Or
so.
he could, he just hire Saudi Arabia to do it. Oh wow, did I just say that on tape?
Well, I don't think he had anything to do with it. I just think he turned a blind eye. I think he the president of the United States should step in and be like, hey, I don't think you should do things like that, and maybe we're gonna, sanction you. Instead,
have you watched Homeland? Have you watched Homeland, man? Come on. No,
well, I have, but what I'm saying is that this.
Yeah, I know.
This was the Saudis punishing somebody, and because was the guy Turkish, Jamal Khashoggi?
No. I thought he was Saudi.
So it happened at a Turkish embassy. It happened at the Turkish embassy in Saudi Arabia or something. I don't recall.
Yeah, I think so.
He was getting married and he got duped into going. The details almost don't matter. The guy was killed while, he was chopped up while he was alive. I don't think Trump had anything to do with it. I just think as the leader of the free world, his responsibility, he abdicated it. So anyway, if you haven't heard, the grand jury indicted one of the three officers, the officer that's already been fired, for wanton endangerment. So, it comes with limitations, a fine, maximum prison sentence, things like that. It's not what the family wanted. The family obviously wanted, probably wanted, something approaching murder. I want to preface everything that follows with this. I think this is a massive travesty of justice, and the family, is really not going to find much healing in this decision. And the prosecutor still hasn't stated, as far as I know, as of broadcast. I don't know what the prosecutor has decided to do. This is all from the grand jury announcement. But the problem is what's legal in Louisville and Kentucky versus, the reality of the situation. The no-knock warrant was legal. That's the problem here. And we began talking about this a while ago. I don't want to put myself in a position to be defending the police officers in this situation. I don't think this rises. Hi, Jojo. I don't think this rises to the level of Nuremberg war crimes. I was just following orders has become a cliche, but these three officers performed their job as they were trained to do so. The no-knock warrant was legal. Now, there's conflicting reports as to whether they identified themselves as police or not, but that's kind of irrelevant because, again, no-knock warrant. They bang on the door, they kick the door down, they're met with gunfire, they return fire. To me, the bigger issues are, one, again, tragic loss of life. Nothing is going to bring any sort of comfort to the family of Breonna Taylor. Part of the civil suit was to eliminate no-knock warrants. That should be done at the federal level. I mean, we should just get rid of no-knock warrants. If you want to have to do this, you should be getting the FBI involved if it's that level of crime. I don't want my local police doing no-knock warrants. But more importantly, think about what happened in the aftermath. Her boyfriend, who was pleading to have them go, perform life-saving, techniques while his girlfriend lay bleeding to death in the house, was immediately charged with, attempted murder, put in jail, everything, the system like this. Meanwhile, these cops get months of a grand jury deliberation. They get to introduce evidence. They get to introduce witnesses. You and I don't get to do that. If you break into my house and we exchange gunfire, we're going to jail. And we're going to be treated like criminals. We're going to be given massive bail. These cops, nothing. This right here, all of this, for those who still don't get it, for those in the back, this is systemic racism. This is the system at work. This is how it goes down. The only reason this cop was charged was because his behavior was so absolutely ridiculous that it endangered the lives of other people. They still don't give a shit about the two people they kicked the door in on. The message that one of the cops sent at 2 a.m, very courageous, by the way, sent at 2 a.m. saying, oh, our actions were ethical and moral and legal and all this stuff. And, we're the good guys and these pencil pushers don't have our backs, blah, 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 blah. And still calling the people criminals and thugs, even though we know now the warrant wasn't for them. The boyfriend's completely innocent. And Breonna Taylor, the details are sketchy at best, but so she occasionally allowed her ex-boyfriend drug dealer to do some shit out of her house months ago. And that warrants a no-knock raid. There's so many things that are just fucked up here that are just part of the system. And if this doesn't open people's eyes, I don't know how many times we got to say it. Don't know how many times we got to say it. This is the system worked here, people. That's the fucked up thing. We got to change the system. This is an example of how we've created a system that says us versus them. We're cops. Everybody else is lesser. Everybody else is a potential criminal. Everybody else is a potential killer. And the NRA's got them so amped up. Everybody's got a gun. Well, yeah, everybody's got a fucking gun. You've encouraged them to get a gun. I don't know, man. I'm all over the place. I want to hear your perspective. I know you're going to have some thoughts that I do not. Let's go.
Everything that you said has truth in it, my friend. I know that we had talked earlier that you were like, we may be on different sides of this, or not sides, but we may have different opinions on this. This is one of those things that happened that, as an African American, as a black man, as Evan Casey, because I refuse to speak for all black people, because the fact of the matter is we don't have this, monthly meeting where we all get together and we have one narrative we say about stuff. But I recognize the difficulty that was placed on those police officers that night. However, the one thing that I differ with you about, and it's not really differing with you, it's just a matter of semantics. That should not have been their job.
Right.
As a peace officer, your job is to protect and serve. This is a direct result of, in my opinion, years ago, the quote unquote war on drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Where we have militarized the police to become this, and Roger said it,
Yep.
Gestapo type force that initiates and executes these no-knock warrants against private citizens. Yeah. Now, where was the ATF? If this was such a huge drug ring,
well,
where's the ATF?
DEA.
Yep.
But
or DEA. Where are they at?
Right.
Why leave this in the hands of people who should be trained to keep the peace.
Yeah, again,
Once again, and I just want to finish by saying
no,
this.
go ahead.
That's where I think we have lost our way, and that's where I'm a big proponent in the phrase defunding the police, because people listen to that and they're like, "Oh my God, the police are gone." No, if you listen real close, what we're asking for is, we're not asking for the total abolishing of a police or
Right.
peace force. We're asking for the demilitarization of the police as we know it.
Yeah,
The police should have never been there. If anything,
absolutely.
if anything, catch them during the deal. Why would you have to go in there? We have so much technology nowadays, Aaron. I'm like, you mean to tell me that the only way you can bring down a small time little drug dealer is by busting into the home and not knowing who's there? There may
At,
be innocents in there,
at 1
but
in the
basically
morning too.
what you're doing now is you are legitimizing collateral damage.
Well,
When you put this on these police officers like this man, those are my thoughts. They should have never been there in the first place. There are other ways to get this done. Other ways to get it done.
Totally agree. But I mean, this is what happened. We've asked more and more of police officers. We've asked far too much of regular police officers. We've put far too many burdens on them, and they're not trained to deal with the mentally disabled at the level they need to be. They're not trained for some of these situations. They're not trained for this. They're not trained for this type of stuff, at least at the level they need to be. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened in the first place. But secondarily, if you're going to think about how many failures occurred here, okay? You have, by at least 6 months, outdated intelligence. The woman does not live alone. She lives with her sister, okay? And her boyfriend had, if not moved in, at least been staying there on a regular basis for weeks. You don't know this. You're not occasionally having an unmarked car drive by just to kind of see. And the entirety of this is based on you seeing a black man that you can't fully identify carrying a package into the house that you suspect could be drugs, which the family says was a pair of shoes. You couldn't identify the male who carried them into the house. I mean, it goes to show that in this situation, you're right. It's the war on drugs. It's all of these things. There's no silver bullet here. There's no singular thing. There are so many things that have gone on here. The amped up of the war on drugs, the militarization of police, the burdenizing of police, the demonization of any local community, the social issues that lead people into this sort of thing in the first place. I can go on and on and on about this. And
and you're right. It comes back to what you said. It is the perfect microcosm of systemic racism that is on display for everyone to see. There's always something that's like, well, what about this? No, there is no what about this. The question at hand isn't that, oh, well, the guy returned fire. The question at hand is, why the hell were they there in the first place? Why were they there in the first place? And Gia makes a great point.
Yeah, I was about to get to that.
I mean, we see this in neighborhoods across America. And the fact that, now the fact that you ghettoized black people for, since the 70s, 60s and 70s, but now you're like, oh, maybe we want to go back downtown. Let's figure out a way to clear them out so we can go in and gentrify shit. That's exactly what's going on here. And the fact is that this is the issue. This is the problem. And this is something that, quite frankly, me and my girlfriend were talking about the other day.
Not your significant other?
I switched the phrase. Switch the phrase. This is the fear, at least for me, as a black man in America, is that we start to lose the steam of this narrative that we're starting to paint in America. People are starting to wake up, and what this does, quite frankly, what this does for the Black Lives Matter movement, what this does for black people in general, is that the unfortunate situation that this is, it invigorates that anger and outrage once again. And I pray, and I pray, and I pray that we are able to continue. And Aaron, this is the thing I tell my students all the time: continue the narrative. Continue the narrative of history. Because if we don't, we're going to lose it, and we're going to lose momentum. And the fact is that even if this would have turned out in the favor of Breonna Taylor, if every single one of those police officers were held accountable, if they were, the fact of the matter is that we would have to say the same thing that I'm saying now. We cannot let this narrative grow silent. We can't. But what this has done is what you said, man. It has fully put on display systemic racism. And it has done something that we have not seen until this point. We have not seen a black man stand up, Mr. Daniel Cameron. We've not seen a black man stand up and say, oh, well, wait a minute. This really wasn't something that was, prosecutable as far as keeping people accountable for her murder. However, we'll make sure that, he doesn't shoot his weapon off, wildly. That is insane to me. And what that should say to the white population of America is that systemic racism sees no bounds. If you're part of the system, you are part of the system. And that's the case. That is the God honest truth, Aaron. And I hate to keep it real like that. And I hate to, and I will not say the Tom phrase. I won't say that. But what I'm saying is that if you are a contributor to racism, you are a contributor to racism. That's it. I can't hear you, bro. What happened to your volume?
I should still be here. I can hear myself again.
You're a little bit louder.
Okay. I haven't done a thing.
Oh no.
I haven't done a thing. I don't know.
Okay, keep going. That was getting louder.
I haven't done anything. I don't know what's going on.
There you go. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You're back.
Okay.
You're back.
Crazy. It might have just been. Let's see. We got to Gia and the gentrification. Yeah. I've heard that. I've read about that. I mean, again, that's systemic racism. So, Roger's comment about, the fact that we can use, of course, if you shoot an unarmed combatant, you go to prison, and then you get apparently, pardoned by the president of the United States. But
yeah,
the fact that police officers can use tear gas, which is not allowed in international warfare. The fact that police get qualified immunity, which basically says it's just part of my job to do this kind of stuff. And, if you fuck up at your job, you don't always get fired. So whatever. Let's see here. Yeah. Gia kind of touches on an ancillary aspect of, little kids are seeing the media right now. And I mean, I can't imagine being a black parent of a child right now with everything that's going on in this country and getting the inevitable question of, Daddy, does America hate black people?
Mm-hmm.
Because the answer is kind of, yeah. I mean, look, America never respected black people from the outset, didn't value them at the same level, enslaved them, barely said sorry for, you know, it was like, sorry for slavery. Here's your 40. Oh, no, we're not going to give you 48 acres a meal.
Right.
Also, we're not going to give you education. We're not going to allow you to get home loans. You know, I didn't know this the other day. You couldn't be black and be in the Miss America pageant until the 70s. But there's no systemic racism, right? I mean, but yeah, I mean, Gia, you know, I don't know how to have conversations. I don't have children, period. I'd like to think that white parents, you know, I'm getting sick of the
Yeah.
phrase woke now that it's coming, you know, kind of, but progressive parents who are trying to do the right thing and instill the values in their children, and have their white child say like, Daddy, does America really hate black people? Like what's going on? Why are they booing these guys for locking arms at midfield after the anthem played? Kind of makes it seem it's not so much about the anthem or the flag or the military, and it's just shut up and stay in your lane.
Yeah. I had someone talk to me today, and quite frankly, it really, it was great. We had a great discussion, and she was saying that, you know, even though we both are African American, our our paths are different,
Yeah.
but they've been laid out the same. And I'm like, whoa, let me think about that. Let me think about that. Because in America, as a black man, she's right. My journey has been different from someone from a black woman. My journey's different from yours, man. I mean, it's just different. But our paths have been laid out. They've already been stamped.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what people struggle to understand, is that
Absolutely.
if you as a minority in America, and specifically speaking, once again, I'm speaking for myself, as a black man in America, I can do whatever I want to do as long as it's within that path. My path has been laid out. And the fact is that people don't understand that when you say that, they're like, no, you have all the benefits, you've got all this and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, my path has been laid out, because I will always be defined by that path. And my path is what a black man can accomplish in America. Don't come to me and say, well, you have the equal opportunity as everyone else. That's bullshit, because it's been proven over and over and over again that maybe as long as I'm good or I behave myself, then I might have different privileges as far as someone else who says, no, this is bullshit, and they stand up.
Well, let me take it a
Somebody
step
who stands
further.
up. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm white, male, middle class, and I have limitations. I have parameters within which I most likely have to live in. I get the point that you're making. Some doors are open to me that aren't open to other people. But it's still, we have an American caste system.
Mm-hmm.
And our caste system starts with nativity is perhaps the wrong term, nativeness. How authentic is your white ancestry?
Yeah.
On down. And there are grades. And while it seems that we all start from a similar playing field, we don't. We all know we don't. And for me to acknowledge this means that what occurs beyond me is even further compromised, even further unable to access certain aspects of society for a variety of reasons. And yes, Roger, I just saw that. The doors aren't closed to me because of the color of my skin, but that's why I said a caste system, because class, race, ethnicity, religion, sexuality, gender are all at play here. It's not just a straight up apartheid system where whites are good and everyone else is bad. We pretend to have some sort of spectrum when in reality we have a very closed, locked out system, and certain things overlap, or you know, and maybe, you know, in the system allows, you know, people are like, well, Barack Obama was president. Clearly there's not racism in America anymore. Well,
I have a black friend, you know, hey,
yeah, I was
I'm
going
not
to say
racist.
that's literally the height of, I've got a black friend. Well, we elected a black president. Well, yeah. And then treated him like a pariah for 8 years. That everybody wants to talk about things as if it's singular, and this is specifically the way it is, and not talk about the nuance. Americans are horrible about nuance. Go to my blog.
Yeah.
Americans are terrible about nuance, and this is one of those aspects that there's a shit ton of rungs on the ladder, but everybody's on that ladder.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of ability. In fact, in most of the time, the ladder is like, do you remember Donkey Kong?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's multiple ladders and then a level, and you can go left and right, and then up the ladder, left and right. Most of the time, people are going left and right. Very few times people are actually going up the ladder.
Yeah.
Not how America works.
So I think now's a good time to do my favorite part of the show, and that is the Hey Aaron segment. And I apologize to Aaron before, guys. Look, this segment kind of sucks, but we're gonna do it anyway. I don't care.
That's what we do. We're having fun here. We're gonna, you know what? It's been a heavy night. Rest in peace, RBG. She's an original. She's the Notorious, and we'll get her back. If not immediately, we'll get her back. You know, down the road. I got no words on the whole Breonna Taylor thing. It's just disgusting and another example of the shit in this world. But at the end of the day, here at the Shebeen, we're all about loving one another. So let's get into some good times, man.
Okay, let's do it. Quarterback of the 90s. And you have to name the team, my friend. You have to name the team. Okay? And I'm going to time you. I'm going to time you on this. So I'm going to give you a quarterback's name.
Okay.
And you're going to give, you know.
I told you we'd get into some sports ball. Shout out Io to Chelsea. You guys won big today in the League Cup.
Yeah.
Good work there.
Yep. We had a full squad on the field.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's forget about that last.
Good work there.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever. All
right, we're no better right now.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to hit start, and I'm going to say the first quarterback's name. Ready? Here we go. Warren Moon.
Houston Oilers.
John Albert Elway Jr.
Denver Broncos.
Joe Montana. In the 90s.
Did he go to the Chiefs in the 90s?
Yes, he did. Peyton Manning.
Well, Colts.
Randall Cunningham.
Redskins. Oh shit.
Nope.
No, Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
Also, I please edit out the R word there. Brett Favre. Cheesehead.
Yes. Dan Marino.
Oh, shout out Roger. The Finns. The Fish.
Troy Aikman.
The Boys.
Jim Kelly.
The Douchey Bills.
Drew Bledsoe.
In the 90s, the Patriots.
There you go. Rich Gannon.
Raiders?
Okay, I'm gonna hit pause because Yes, I will take that. Absolutely. Rich Gannon. He eventually went to the Vikings too, but I will take Raiders. Here we go. Kurt Warner.
Rams.
Yes. Steve McNair.
Aaron McNair.
Who did the Oilers become?
That's what I was trying to think. Tennessee Titans.
Yes. Vinny Testaverde.
Cleveland Browns.
Kerry Collins.
The Panthers.
Steve DeBerg.
Chargers. Steve DeBerg. Did Steve DeBerg make it to the 2000s?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
Steve DeBerg. Okay, so let me
think Southern team.
I was going to
Southern
say
team.
process of elimination. Steve DeBerg. Saints.
Nope. Hanging Chads. I gave you the state.
Buccaneers?
Yes, absolutely. The Buccaneers. Mark Brunell.
How dare you demean Trent? Steve Brunell?
Mark Brunell.
Mark Brunell. Ravens?
Nope.
Got me on this one, I think.
Mark Brunell, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Boomer Esiason.
The Gals.
Doug Flutie.
Bills.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, he was wasn't he drafted by the Bills, but he came back to somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
But wait, New England. New England.
Yes, I'll take that. I'll take either one. Phil Simms.
New York Giants.
My man, Dave Craig.
Dave Craig. There was a quarterback named Dave Craig.
Blitz Craig. That's what we used to call him.
I'm just going to pretend no quarterback has ever been named Dave Craig. I don't know.
Dave Craig. Yes.
No.
Think Bosworth.
Oklahoma State.
I was a big Seattle Seahawks fan in the 90s, bro. Come on, Seattle Seahawks. Jim Harbaugh.
Chicago and then the Colts.
Yes, Jim McMahon.
Chicago and then the Colts.
Damn. Well, was he a Colt? Was McMahon a Colt? Seriously?
Didn't
no.
He? Was he not? I thought he came here as a backup. Am I completely off on that?
I don't know. All I knew is that obviously he was the Bears.
Yeah, and obviously the Bears. You know what? I obviously got the Bears right, so I'll retract my secondary Colts. But still.
3 minutes and 47 seconds, not bad.
And I'm not even a football fan.
Dude, you did great.
I just know things. I drink and I know things. I'm the
things.
Tyrion Lannister of late night podcasts.
Yes, absolutely. So, my friends, here you go. Cheers to you.
Lyle Alzado Raiders, Randy Moss, the Vikings, and pretty much every other team in the league at some point. Thanks for tuning in, Roger. I love you, man. You and I have got to have a drink sometime.
There you go. So this is my second favorite part of the show, where I get to turn it over to my good friend Aaron for the final word. Aaron, take us home, baby.
You know, folks, 2020 just seems to be like stepping into a ring and closing your eyes, knowing that at some point in time, Mike Tyson is going to punch you in the dick. And he seems to be doing it on a weekly basis now.
Forget the ear.
No, fuck the ear. He's just going to chew your cock off.
There you go.
That's his finishing move. Finish him. But the finish line is in sight. Forget all his bullshit. Stop being shocked. Make your plan. Figure out what you're going to do. And as they say, hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Get out there, get people voting, help people get to the polls. Speaking of, just an interjection, a couple of friends of mine posted something today. And it starts out like a rap video, and it's like several strippers, and the chorus is "Get your ass on the pole, get your ass on the pole," and then it's a bunch of actual strippers saying, "Vote, because here's what you don't know: attorney generals set bail."
There you go.
Sheriffs are appointed, talking about like filling in and go and they're
Spitting truth, man.
These are not
truth.
the midnight strippers. These are not. This is the B team or the C team. Now I hate to be like that, but I'm just saying, like this, the commercial was meant to get your attention, and then be like, look, we're people too, and if you're the kind of person who likes us, then pay attention to what's going on in the world. Pay attention to, and they straight up said, like, look, vote for people who will create work programs so we don't have to strip.
Yeah.
So again, we're in charge. It doesn't feel like it right now, but we're still in charge. The institutions aren't working as great as they could, but they're still intact. We have a chance to save this. And look, this isn't about Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. This is about Supreme Court justices and cash bail and qualified immunity for cops and where your taxes are going to go, whether or not you're going to have health care for your kids, whether or not teachers are going to get funded. I mean, are we going to have basic needs met? Are we going to have a competent leadership so that while we're in the middle of a pandemic, we can weather this storm and be prepared for the next one? Because the next one's coming. So, people, joy cometh in the morning, as they say. The sun will come up. We will, if we put ourselves together, we will overcome this. And all these things that we talk about, all these injustices, we have a chance to do something about it if we put aside some of these ridiculous differences and just get out there and do what we're supposed to do. The man can't hold sway forever, and I certainly don't believe he can create some sort of coup. We will take this country back, and we will do the right things with it. We will not be petty. We will not be vindictive.
Roger and Gia are having all kinds of fun.
They are, and I'm going to let them go and hope their evening is fantastic. I was going to say is if I was Roger, I would put on like Girls, Girls, Girls by Motley Crue or maybe some AC/DC. I don't know, Gia, but you guys know your things. Maybe Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye, whatever.
Gotta be some Barry White, Marvin Gaye, or some Teddy P. Gotta be.
Whatever. Or it might be time to bust out Pony by Genuine. Whatever. Because maybe
on that note,
maybe
friends.
Roger's Magic Mike. We don't know. Maybe it goes both ways. So look, that was as positive as I can get. And now we've gone into to the whole Sucho as Jesus and the kid would say. So everybody, love you. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a blast. Love having everybody interact. If for those who are watching it later, you can still hit us up, make comments, like us. This will be on YouTube, so hit subscribe, hit the bell, hit all the things that you're supposed to do. Tell us you love us, tell us you hate us. It's all great. We're going to keep doing it anyway, so what else?
Yeah. And hey, let me just send a challenge out to the chicks on the right. We're the dudes on the left, baby. So just
Skippy.
We're coming for you. We
also,
are coming for you.
Chicks on the right, your jokes are not funny.
No, they're not funny. Not funny at all.
So get at me. I'll come on your trash ass program on 93.1. Blah blah blah. Get some. I will work you to death. Then we'll have a beer.
That's right.
Then we'll have a beer.
Yeah.
You seem like cool chicks. So whatever.
Absolutely.
Whatever. Everybody,
awesome.
It's been a blast. It always is. And do the damn thing. Take care of yourselves.
Vote Black Lives Matter. Justice for Breonna Taylor. Peace.
Damn, Skip.